Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you. We're going to be looking today about, we're looking at my academic paper on the resurrection of Christ. And the last few videos is about methodology, sorting out what we mean by truth, what we mean by history. And next thing we need to think about is how we're going to investigate ancient texts. If we're going to be looking at the life of Christ and who he was, then surely we need to have an understanding of how we approach ancient text. If we don't have an understanding, then we're going to be confused and we're going to enter into a debate not being wise as to the criteria that's required in understanding ancient text. And again, I look to this excellent book by Licona in page 94 on the issue of burden of proof. He says, most of our information about the past comes to us in the form of text. We must ask how these should be approached. There are three different ways a historian can approach a text: methodological credulity, methodological skepticism, and methodological neutrality. So basically there are three ways to understand ancient text. We can look at an ancient text by just being gullible, accepting everything it says, accepting that the author is the author. Okay. Another way of looking at an ancient text is to doubt everything, to doubt that it's the author unless proven, to doubt the historical reliability of the text. You just doubt everything. So on the one hand is gullibility, on the other hand is complete doubt. And each one produces its own way of looking at things. If you completely doubt a text from its authorship to its unless there's some kind of clear evidence, then a lot of things that you would accept as correct you would not believe in and you would not accept, and it would be almost impossible to do history. So that's the one way, and a lot of atheists like to use looking at ancient texts from that perspective. Another way of looking at ancient text is the kind of gullible way, where you look at an ancient text and you just accept whatever it's saying and the tradition behind it. But then there's the problem with that is you're less likely to spot people or situations that are fake or trying to pull the wool over your eyes. The best methodology is in the middle, to neither be gullible nor too skeptical, but to accept a text on its tradition, but be critical about it, looking for any evidence for that tradition. So that means when you're looking at the Gospels, rather than just reject it outright before you even start, as a skeptic would, or accepting it as someone being gullible, is more critical, cautious, that you accept the tradition of the authorship of the text, but you're critical, you're looking for evidence and information to back what the ancient text is saying about its tradition. So for example, we have a long tradition of the authorship of the four Gospels: Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John. Now if you just rejected that outright and said, well, until I actually get real clear evidence, I reject it, then you're just denying the whole tons of evidence that provides for the historicity of the tradition that the Gospels were written by the authors that we know them to be today. But at the same time, if you're gullible, then you're not going to be critically aware, not willing to ask difficult questions. Alright? So if you are an atheist and you take the more skeptical view, then we're obviously not going to be able to see eye to eye when we come into an ancient text. Whatever that ancient text is, there are two clashes of methodology in looking at ancient text. And I would say that the skeptical view is an extreme view of understanding ancient text. So, what do you think? Let me know.